All right, guys, so tapping black walnut trees. You can see all the trees out here. There's a hickory right there, an oak right there. This is a black walnut tree. The only reason I know this is a black walnut tree is because it drops walnuts here in the summer and it puts on black walnut leaves in the summer. And I've kind of watched the picked out a couple trees that I wanted to do before the season. So recommendation, if you've never done it before, the oaks and the black walnuts can look very similar as far as their bark, especially when there's no leaves on top. Sometimes walnuts on the ground can be a giveaway, but just know your trees, know your woods a little bit before the season. Okay, you're going to want to get a drill and a drill bit that is just, I would say, 1 or 2 sizes smaller than the basically the taps that you're going to put into the hole. I actually already tapped this tree once in December, but the hole is pretty much sealed up, so I'm just going to drill another hole in it. You could drill them near the bottom so it doesn't damage the veneer, so I'm just going to do that right now. And we'll give you guys a close-up of it. And you don't really want to go further than 3 inches into the tree. You don't gotta go in the whole drill bit, but if you want to, whatever. They also say to drill into the south side of the tree is best, so. And a little bit of an upward angle they also say is good, so combination of that. You want your hole to be clean. So try to take out as much of the junk as you can. I can see it's a little bit wet, so that's a good sign. When you see the wetness, that means that it's probably gonna be have some sap running. Let's see here. We'll give it a minute, see if any water comes out of it. That should be deep enough. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. So we'll give it a minute, see if it swells up. If it doesn't, it will be leaking sap tomorrow. So there's the hole. Make sure we get it on video here. There's the hole. You can lose them pretty easily, actually. Now, I've found from the ones that I've tapped this fall, it's good. Oh, see, yep, there's some water coming out of it now. You can probably see a little bit of the, that's a good sign. So that means there's some sap running. Yep. But I would say go in there and make sure there's no sawdust, because sometimes that can clog up your spindle. Now there's going to be some plastic spindles that you can get. I'll show you guys one. There's going to be some plastic spindles like this. I wouldn't even mess around with them. They'll work, but I would prefer the metal. Even if you're just a first time and just want to tap a couple trees, these are cheaper, they're reusable, they're about the same price or cheaper. So get yourself some metal plumbing fixtures. It says cancer and reproductive harm on it, but I think that's just for California. It says .ca.gov. So some things cause cancer there and they don't cause cancer other places. But that being said, this is used for indoor plumbing anyway with water and stuff. It's a brass nipple basically. So what you're going to do next, take your metal spindle, stick it right into the hole there just a little bit, and you're going to want to tap it in with a hammer. and it should form a pretty good seal. And we'll see if any sap seems to flow out of it in a minute here. I think it will. We'll see. Yeah, that's a little tighter right there. Let's see if any moisture comes out of it, because it was dripping. So give it a minute and make sure it's all good here. I don't see any looks like a pretty tight seal to me around it, but just keep an eye, and there should be some that should flow down the pipe here in a minute. So I'll turn it back on when I get some drops coming out of it. Alright, so it's not really dripping a lot right now. There was just a little bit of moisture coming out of it when I drilled it. It's still a little cold right now, so I'm sure around 3 or 4 o'clock it'll start flowing a little better. I've noticed between the hottest time of the day and sundown and nighttime it flows better. So basically, next thing though, you're going to take a tube like this, put it on the tip of your spindle that you put in the tree there, or spigot, or whatever you want to call it. Should be, you want it to have a fairly tight fit. This type of tubing is good because you can stretch it a little bit if you got the size on your spindle off a little bit. Then basically you're going to take a bucket. I've got one of these food grade buckets. Some people drill holes in the lid, but I drilled holes in the side here, which I prefer personally. But basically you're just going to take your tubing, put it through your hole there, and slide it through here, and that way you got downward flow into the bucket. If you got a little bit of a downward slope, that's generally a little bit better. You don't want your tubing to be in the sap either, because sometimes if you get a strong flow, I've heard that the tree can actually start sucking it up. So I usually raise it off the bottom enough. This tree hasn't given me a ton of tree sap this year, but it's probably given me 1.5 gallons to a gallon. Anyway, I'll come back and show you guys how much sap I've gotten from this tree tomorrow, or or later, or whenever. And when it starts dripping, I'll show you guys. So anyway, that's how you do it though. Just drill a hole in a black walnut tree. Good to keep your spindles near the bottom of the tree if you want to use these for lumber in the future, or because black walnut trees are a fairly valuable tree. And the black walnut syrup is pretty expensive too though. So something to know, something to try. Good thing for self-sufficiency. If you've got just a few nice big black walnut trees in your yard or something, be a nice thing, something fun to do in the fall and springtime, and get yourself some sugar. You know, as far as it goes back, cane sugar and sugar from beets is what your table sugar comes through the day. But back in the day, there was other sweeteners they used, because sugar was kind of a little bit more of a luxury. You can't get it everywhere. It was imported. Sorghum syrup, honey, and this type of syrup, maple and other, were common depending on your region for a sweetener. So if you're trying to live off grid, looking for alternatives to the system, obviously raw sugar is pretty cheap to buy a bag of it. But if you really want to, this is free, I mean, other than your labor. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. Like I said, I'm gonna come back when this thing starts flowing. See, this bucket has a little bit of sap in the bottom from probably this week. This was a later season December tap, so what I'll probably do is take that little black one off, clean this bucket out, clean the tube out, and just put one of these metal spicks in. And I'll probably I'll probably rebore the hole. They say not to do that, but I'm gonna do it anyway, so whatever. We'll see if it kills the tree. I'll let you guys know in the spring maybe. Alright guys, you can see there's a little bit of moisture in here. This one is a different tap, but you can see it's starting to get some moisture along the pipe here, and there's a little bit of sap coming out of it. You can't really see it, it's barely anything, but as the day goes into the night, it should get some sap in there. So we'll see tomorrow morning. I've got about 5 or 6 of these buckets out, so you want them to have a downward slant. Sometimes an angle like this ain't the best, but you can take a rock or something like that and set on top. This one's fairly solid. I like the gravity it has. So anyway, you guys get the gist. I've got a couple of these out. It's kind of nice being out in the woods, walking around. I saw some deer tracks over here, and I already know from previously, but there's a nice buck rub over there, so I don't know if it's the same deer or not, but you can see when you walk up and you see the line's got some moisture in it. It's usually a good thing. Not that much flow really. I could see a little drop up there, but maybe tonight. I've noticed sometimes when it gets a warm night, sometimes it'll keep going, but yeah, not really that much coming from that hole. Alright guys, here's one of the taps. We've got just a little bit of sap in the bottom there. Usually what I'll do is I will filter it, so I don't really care if a couple little twigs and leaves get in it. I filter it anyway, and then I boil it to oblivion. So it ain't gonna hurt anyone. I filter it and I boil it, and I'm using it for personal consumption anyway. So alright guys, I'm about to boil up some black walnut syrup over here down at the log cabin, and I've got this this is a filter. You can just use a regular pan, or you can use a stainless steel pot. I use a lot of stainless steel pots. I also have an evaporator, but I only use the evaporator if I have like 5 or 6 gallons and wood fire it. There's probably close to a gallon across the 6 trees. This is about maybe more like a liter. This is about 2 days worth of sap. You can see there's some particles on the bottom. I'm gonna filter it through this and filter it through this into the pot, and I'll let you guys watch the process of boiling it a little bit. Alright, so now you just boil it down, let it get going. I do it with wood often, but right now, just for the video, it'd be a little easier just to do it with this. So now you'll notice when it gets close to done that it bubbles a little bit differently. So when it starts doing that, you kind of got to watch it a little bit. You're pretty much good to go. When it starts bubbling like that, you're pretty close to it being syrup. Alright, I think I boiled it long enough here. I'm just kind of letting it steam off a little bit. The more moisture that comes off it, the better. So I'm letting it steam a little bit. Now, it probably could be done another 5-10 minutes if I wanted to, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and just dump it with the rest of the syrup that I've been making. But anyway, this is what I have boiled down for the season here so far. I take whatever I boil down, the boiled pan, and I dump it in there. And then at the end of the season, I'll have one final boil and put it in the jar. You ready for your treat? See it? See it? See it? Nice catch. Nice catch. We'll give you one more for the show. One more, boy. See it? Nice. Very nice. Good boy. Good boy.